Good morning, everyone. It's very pleasant to be here in Sydney. I'm not originally from Melbourne. I cut my teeth in education predominantly in the eastern suburbs of Sydney. So it's great to be here and presenting. Although having left Sydney for now almost 10 years, it's true what they say about the traffic and the crowds. Melbourne Girls Grammar is a K-12 girls' school. We're 124 years old. We were established with the goal in 1893 that girls would receive the same quality education as boys. In order to thrive, Melbourne Girls Grammar has always invested in innovation and I think considered boldly what should we do next to ensure that girls have an optimal experience in life, not just in school, but the end game is well beyond school for us. So when we cast forward to think about our 2020 to 2030 graduates, we didn't start by thinking about resources. We didn't start with technology. We thought about who our girls are and what are the attributes that, if they develop those, they will be incredibly well placed to seize any opportunities in whatever the world is going to offer them as an experience. I am, first and foremost, a student-centred educator, and the current paradigm of schooling is a teacher-centred paradigm. So this was a fabulous opportunity to redesign the experience of schooling and put our adolescent girls in our senior years program, which is years 9 to 12, right at the heart of how they wanted to experience learning progression, the bigger experience of our co-curricular program, and of course, wrapped around all of this is our investment in well-being for our girls. To achieve that, you would have to break things apart and restructure them. So our senior years program is about personalising the experience for our girls. And in order to do that, you have to consider time differently. You cannot keep young people harnessed to that 6 periods a day, 10 days a cycle, where the student is locked into the course structure, the classroom environment, that one teacher paradigm to the course. That was probably the most difficult shift of all, and this is where technology comes in for us. What would enable us to reorganise time so that time was a shared experience between the expertise of the teachers and the choices that our girls wanted to make? Our senior years program is a very complicated beast, but for this morning, let's say there are 4 key components to our architecture of schooling. There is the academic. Our girls, as they did in the old paradigm, elect courses at various levels in the learning pathways that interest them. We offer a very robust academic experience. Our girls are very aspirational. So I just want to say, our aim was actually to increase our girls' confidence in a robust academic experience, and we see that happening. It is about well-being, but it's about where is the girl at? What are her challenges? What are the goals she wishes to set? Are things in equilibrium for her? So we wanted to personalise that experience. The physical. From year 9, we've done away with the old idea of PE and a one physical education curriculum fits all. Instead, this is a personalised experience as well. And in a minute, when we talk about time, and you're going to see how a girl constructs her day, our aim was that a girl would integrate physical activity in her day as it made sense to her, as it assisted her to develop a proactive approach, particularly to mental health. And it's about enterprise. We talk about developing an enterprising mindset for our 2020 plus graduates. We want them to be expert project managers. We want them to be agile in a range of learning environments. We want them to be able to tolerate ambiguity in order to remain flexible. And when surprises come their way, we want them to be incredibly resourceful. So just to step back for a minute, when I arrived at Melbourne Girls Grammar in 2008, I had a vision for creating a student-centred approach to learning, and I was vitally interested in the digital ecosystem. One of the things I understand is that your back end of technology, which isn't sexy at all, has to stand up. And if you want to deliver a learning environment that has to be 24/7 accessed digitally, the back end can't fall over. It took 15 technology projects and an investment in a really good data recovery system to be ready for what we now do at Melbourne Girls Grammar. Because frustration is the path back to what you know. So when you turn on a new architecture for schooling that's blended learning, you don't want your teachers to be frustrated, driving them back to the safety of where they've come from, and you don't want to frustrate your students and start to create anxiety that perhaps we didn't get this quite right. So here are some of the key technologies that we have integrated into our new architecture of schooling, and I'm just going to take you through how the girls use those to their benefit and what we get from that as educators. So Outlook, shaping the day. A Year 9 student begins semester 1 with only 50% of her day known. Only 50% of her day is scheduled. That 50% of the time is scheduled because she still has an expert teacher for each of the courses that she selected. And by the way, I think in this paradigm, our teachers feel even more valued. They have an expertise that cannot be replicated in any of the blended learning environments that we've integrated. And they're the glue that holds everything together. So what the girls need to do is master Outlook. They need to construct the shape of their day, and our girls generally do this in 2-week blocks. They cast ahead. Okay, I'm going to slot in my fixed course commitments. Then I'm going to figure out, some flexibility. I'll have a look at what else is on offer in the course pathways that I might want to pick and choose from. A lecture on offer to beef up on something in history, maybe a workshop on skills in the English course that she's chosen, etc. She'll also have quite a degree of independent learning time beyond accessing the flexibility with the teacher. So she fits those independent learning times in, and she thinks about how she should use those to maximise her learning progression, to remain confident and resilient. We have a learning commons where girls predominantly spend their time with their independent learning. And on that learning commons, we have one of our new workforces, our academic coaches. They're not teachers. They are generally tertiary level students who we have carefully recruited, and they offer an expertise across various course pathways. On the learning commons, they too are offering workshops for practice, rehearsal, and application. She also knows that we have an expectation that she will access another group of workers new in this paradigm. They're our wellbeing coaches. Our girls generally choose to have one session a week or one session a fortnight with their wellbeing coach. This is the personalisation of wellbeing, and she locks that in. She sends a query to her coach. They find mutually agreeable times. She slots that in. In our environment, the girls really do understand that physical activity is important to their overall health and development. So she also links up with the other workforce that we've brought in, which are our fitness coaches, and they're in our Artemis Centre, and she'll book in a session with a fitness coach, or she'll choose from one of the many physical activities on offer, and she'll choose one that she slots into that other 50% of fluid time. This looks and feels very different to the current traditional paradigm of schooling. What you're seeing here is our learning management system, School Box, but our girls call this EVE. Lowercase e for e-learning. We're now in our 6th year of developing this platform, and the Roman numeral for the number 6. When we hosted EVE in our environment, it was our 6th learning environment. So we've been developing this virtual part of our campus for almost 6 years. This is a codified universal course design for all courses that a student will now experience in years 9 to 12. So no matter if she's in her maths course, her curated content, or her science course curated content, she recognises this structure. She recognises the symbols. She has learning outcomes that are very clear in that structure. We implemented a position of responsibility to develop our first curated courses, as you've just seen, and they're instructional designers. They're teachers within our staff who volunteered to be those pioneers, and they've done an exceptional job. Also within the learning management system, what you're seeing here is the capacity of the student to go through the tasks that she needs to present in the duration of a course that she's selected. This girl has advanced science, English, and the teacher sets the final date by which a task can be submitted. But here, the student is able to manipulate when she wants to deliver on a task. And this is another visual planner. This is the development of project management skills. She may be creating time, for example, in the delivery of her English task, because that's an area of confidence, in order to create more time to work on her science tasks. This is how we individualise the pace. Another part of this course structure that the girls really value is that there are mastery tasks spread throughout every course, and the delivery of those mastery tasks is quite consistent, and that's in order to receive ongoing feedback. Here you can see that also the student and the teacher can see how a girl is tracking. She can go in and she can see the student version of the mark book. We've colour-coded it. The green is she's submitted and she's received her work back, and because it's a mastery task, the green says that you've done well enough in this mastery task that you may move on. It's interesting to watch our learners. Most of them aren't actually quite satisfied with a 75% mastery standard. They'll often go back and repeat the tasks, and of course they can. Gone are the days where a teacher sets a task and collects 20 essays in. The task is already set, up front, front-loaded with the course. The girls are setting their own submission dates, and a teacher is receiving the work according to when the girls wish to submit. And we have page diagnostics that also tell us whether the students are visiting the course pages, the course content, etc. This is what the student sees when the teacher logs back a mastery task, for example. Really fulsome feedback. And you know from the research that really good feedback is one of the fundamental levers for the accelerated progression of learning. And our girls have told us this has been hugely beneficial. We have integrated a number of platforms to enhance the delivery of the blended component, the online component. I want to say to you that I have travelled extensively in the UK, Canada, and the States. And I come back to Australia and I am blown away by how much technology we have in our schools. What we don't have are exceptional learning platforms, course specific platforms. So if you're interested in doing something that would be an excellent startup and earn a lot of money, this might be the thing for you. Science, maths and languages, we desperately need better platforms. What is heartening is that as a school that's gone into this early, the providers of these platforms want to cooperate with us, want to collaborate with us. And we hope that we're working very smart with them so that other schools who bravely go this way will get full advantage of that. Where there has been investment in Australia in technology and platforms is sport. That probably doesn't surprise you as an Aussie. So we went looking into sporting organisations to see if they had some platforms and came up with this beauty, Visual Coaching Pro. This is set up so that girls download an app on their mobile phone. We've set indicators for wellbeing and they self-report. There's a whole lot of research and evidence behind that, but it's easy. It's mobile with the girls. Diagnostic reports, it's a press of a button. A wellbeing coach can check that very quickly. The girl can have her phone and her app and her diagnostics in front of her when she's sitting with her wellbeing coach. And we can have longitudinal diagnostics as well. So on the physical fitness side, I said that we've got our fitness coaches. This again is a bookable system where the girls go in through Links Modular, another platform that we've integrated. Our Director of Artemis Programs is working to ensure that we have a plethora of activities available every day that our girls are interested in. We constantly consult them. And the girls simply go in and book in. And this shows up on their Outlook calendar, as I've said. And this is another set of data for us that we are able to archive and track. So, as I said, for Melbourne Girls Grammar, this is about really authentically providing a student-centred experience of schooling. It's about saying that time no longer is going to be the tyrant in our environment. It's saying that if you believe in young people, if you trust young people, if you're very, very clear with young people about what is expected, if you surround them with supportive adults who really like working with them, who listen very carefully, who actually want to co-construct with them, and you have an eye to the immediate future. My Year 9 girls are our 2020 graduates, and my little girls in 3-year-old kindergarten are my 2030 graduates. The future is in my school. The future is in my school. Then this may be a trajectory you may wish to consider or be a part of. Our girls are experiencing independence. We're not just talking about it and we're not just planning for it. They're experiencing it. They're learning to make big and important decisions. Where to go, what to do, when to do it, and to take full responsibility to deliver on it. We're working hard and smart and wanting to be a part of the innovation more broadly in education around the integration of content and skills platforms. We're very much considering what is important, irrelevant, must-have content, and we're well and truly neck deep in data and diagnostics. I just want to pay a great tribute to my staff. In 2010, when I said, guys, this is where we're going, it was very confronting. But everything that we've built and everything that we're achieving at the moment, they have been the originators of that. So that, to me, means that we should have great confidence in the teachers that come into our schools that are wanting simply to have a vision that's clear and they want to be backed up and supported. and to know that trial and error is definitely the precursor to an innovative breakthrough.